An 88-year-old grandfather collapsed in his garage while working on his old Chevy. His heart had stopped. Paramedics shocked him back to life. But when doctors ran tests, his arteries were almost completely clear. No blockages, no plaque buildup. For a man who just had a cardiac arrest, that made no sense. So they dug deeper, and what they found hiding in his blood work made the entire cardiology team go silent. The culprit? Something he'd been eating every single afternoon for the past 3 years. Something doctors call the invisible heart killer. How did a simple snack nearly end his life? And could it be sitting in your pantry right now? Meet Mr. Raymond, 88 years old. Retired factory worker from a small Midwest town. Ray wasn't your typical unhealthy senior. He walked 2 miles every morning, mowed his own lawn, played cards with his buddies every Thursday night. His wife, Martha, kept him on a pretty decent diet: grilled chicken, vegetables, the occasional steak on weekends. But Ray had one indulgence he refused to give up. Every day at 3 p.m., like clockwork, he'd sit in his favorite recliner and eat a handful of black licorice. Not the fake strawberry stuff, the real old-fashioned black licorice his father used to buy him as a kid. It was his ritual, his comfort. "Dad's been eating that since I was little," his daughter Lisa told doctors later. "We never thought twice about it." To his family, Ray seemed fine. Sure, he'd been a little more tired lately, maybe a bit short of breath climbing stairs. But he was 88, wasn't that just normal aging? Martha noticed he seemed weaker some days, like his legs would wobble getting out of bed. But Ray brushed it off. "I'm not a spring chicken anymore," he'd joke. Then came that Tuesday afternoon in October. Ray was tightening a bolt on his Chevy when his vision blurred. His chest didn't hurt. No crushing pressure. No left arm pain. He just felt wrong. And then everything went black. This could be anyone's grandfather, anyone's father. And what happened next would change how his family looked at harmless snacks forever. The 911 call came in at 3:47 p.m. Martha found Ray unconscious on the garage floor, his pulse barely detectable. Paramedics arrived within 6 minutes. His heart had stopped. They shocked him once, twice. On the third shock, his heart jolted back to life. At the ER, the team prepped for what they assumed would be a classic case. Elderly man, cardiac arrest, probably massive heart attack. They rushed him to the cath lab expecting to find clogged arteries, the usual suspect in men his age. The cardiologist threaded the catheter through Ray's arteries, expecting blockages of 70%, 80%, maybe even 90%. But the screen showed something impossible. His arteries were clean, maybe 20% plaque buildup, totally normal for his age. No heart attack, no blood clots. "I've done this for 22 years, the cardiologist later said. When an 88-year-old's heart just stops, there's always blockage. Always. So what stopped Ray's heart? They ran an EKG. The rhythm looked bizarre, erratic, chaotic. Like his heart's electrical system had gone haywire. Could be electrolyte imbalance, one resident suggested. They checked his potassium. Normal. Sodium? Normal. Calcium? Normal. Ray woke up confused, exhausted, but alive. "What happened to me?" he kept asking. The doctors couldn't answer. They admitted him for observation, running test after test. Was it a fluke? An undetected arrhythmia? Or was something poisoning his heart from the inside? Something they hadn't thought to look for yet? Over the next 48 hours, Ray's condition made no sense. His heart would beat normally for hours, then suddenly race at 140 beats per minute for no reason. Then drop to 45. The monitors looked like a roller coaster. Maybe it's his medications, one doctor suggested. Ray took a blood pressure pill and a statin, pretty standard. They add just doses. Nothing changed. Another doctor noticed Ray's potassium had dipped slightly. Not dangerous, but lower than before. "Let's supplement potassium," she said. They did. His heart rhythm got worse. Then a nurse asked Martha the magic question. "Has your husband's routine changed at all in the past few months? New medications? Supplements? Diet changes?" Martha shook her head. "He eats the same thing every day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Oh, and his licorice. He never skips his licorice. The nurse paused. How much licorice? I don't know. A handful? Maybe a bag every few days? The nurse's eyes widened. She pulled out her phone and Googled something. Then she practically ran to find the attending physician. What she discovered was something most people, even most doctors, don't know. Black licorice contains a compound called glycyrrhizin. And in high amounts, glycyrrhizin does something terrifying to your body. It mimics a hormone that makes your kidneys dump potassium and hoard sodium. Your electrolytes go haywire. Your blood pressure spikes. And your heart can just stop. Ray wasn't having a heart attack. He was being poisoned, slowly, sweetly, 3 pieces at a time. The team ordered an urgent test they should have run on day 1. A complete metabolic panel with aldosterone and renin levels. The results came back within hours. Ray's aldosterone, a hormone that regulates salt and water, was sky high. But his renin, which normally rises with aldosterone, was suppressed. It was a pattern called pseudohyperaldosteronism. And there's only a handful of things that cause it. One of them, chronic licorice consumption. The glycyrrhizin in black licorice blocks an enzyme in the kidneys, mimicking the effects of a hormone called aldosterone. This makes your body retain sodium and lose potassium. Over weeks and months, this causes dangerous drops in potassium, which controls heart rhythm. Sky-high blood pressure. Ray's had crept up to 165/95. His family thought it was just stress. Muscle weakness, those wobbly legs weren't old age. Cardiac arrhythmias. And in severe cases, cardiac arrest. Ray had been eating roughly 2 ounces of black licorice daily for 3 years. That's about 400 to 500 milligrams of glycyrrhizin per day. The FDA warns that just 2 ounces eaten daily for 2 weeks can cause heart problems.
Ray had been doing it for over 1,000 days. His heart hadn't failed. It had been electrically short-circuited by a snack. When the doctor explained this to Ray and Martha, they sat in stunned silence. "You're telling me licorice almost killed him?" Martha whispered. "Not almost," the doctor said gently. "It did kill him. We just got him back." The treatment was surprisingly simple. Stop the licorice immediately. They gave Ray 4 potassium to restore his levels and monitored his heart for another 72 hours. Slowly, his rhythm stabilized. His blood pressure dropped. The wobbly legs? Gone within a week. Ray went home 10 days later, with strict instructions and a new understanding of what natural doesn't mean safe. 3 months later, his potassium is normal. His heart rhythm is steady. He's back to working on his Chevy. But he won't touch black licorice again. "I didn't know," he told his daughter. "I just thought it was candy." Here's what Ray's case teaches us, and what could save your life or a loved one's. Natural foods can be dangerous in excess. Licorice, grapefruit, even spinach, healthy foods can interfere with medications or cause toxicity. Watch for subtle symptoms: muscle weakness, fatigue, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure that suddenly worsens. These aren't always just aging. Tell your doctor everything you eat regularly. Doctors don't always ask about snacks or herbal teas. Speak up. Check labels. Real black licorice, not Twizzlers, those are safe, contains glycyrrhizin. If you eat it daily, stop. The FDA says more than 2 ounces per day for 2 weeks is dangerous, especially if you're over 40 or take heart/BP meds. If you love black licorice, choose deglycyrrhizinated DGL licorice. It's the safe version sold in health stores. Ray's heart stopped over candy, but knowledge brought him back. From a harmless snack to a full cardiac arrest. Ray's story is a wake-up call that what we eat every single day matters more than we think. He's not alone. The FDA has documented dozens of cases like his. Some didn't make it. If this story made you think twice about what's in your pantry or your parents' pantry, hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's case. Drop a comment. Have you or someone you know had a weird reaction to a healthy food? I read every single one. And here's the big one. Share this video with anyone over 60. Could literally save a life. Ray's daughter wishes she'd known sooner. You have the chance to be the person who shares what someone else desperately needs to hear. I'll see you next week with another real medical mystery that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about staying healthy as we age. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and take care of the people you love.